When thinking of Mongolia, many imagine endless steppes and ancient warriors. But it's also a place where temperatures can fluctuate by more than 15 degrees in a single day, where people live without roads yet still have internet access at night. A country where meat replaces vegetables, and where there are more horses than people. Here are 15 facts that explain why this harsh land has produced one of the most resilient cultures on the planet. Number 1. Where the nomadic lifestyle still exists. If you wake up in a place with no roads, no shops, and no familiar infrastructure, surrounded only by endless grasslands under a blue sky, it's very likely Mongolia. For millions of its people, this seemingly desolate space is their familiar living environment, one they are connected to every day. Mongolia is the world's least populated sovereign state, excluding Western Sahara, with approximately 3.5 million people spread across 1.3 million square kilometers. About 40% of the Mongolian population maintains a nomadic lifestyle almost entirely preserved from their ancestors. They live in gurs, round tents made from wooden frames covered with felt, designed for quick assembly and easy transport with their livestock. A standard gur can be erected by 2 to 3 people in about 1 to 2 hours and dismantled in just 30 to 60 minutes. The gur is not only a shelter, but also a cultural symbol and the center of family life, where all activities from eating and resting to warming oneself at night take place in the same space. Remarkably, the gur has very effective natural insulation. The thick felt layer helps keep warm during the harsh winter when temperatures drop to 30 degrees Celsius, while still maintaining breathability in the summer. The nomadic lifestyle depends entirely on herds of livestock, consisting of 5 main species: horses, cattle, sheep, goats, and camels. In the far north, the Satan also raise reindeer and travel with them through snow-covered forests. In the summer, families usually pitch their tents near rivers, streams, and green pastures so that their livestock have enough food and water. When winter arrives, they move to sheltered valleys or the edge of the forest to reduce the impact of the cold. On average, a nomadic family may migrate 3 to 4 times a year, covering distances that can extend hundreds of kilometers. For the Mongolians, horses play a special role. They are the primary means of transportation, a measure of wealth and poverty, and a symbol of freedom on the steppe. The country has approximately 5 million horses, more than its population of only about 3.5 million people. Children often learn to ride horses from the age of 3 and may participate in traditional races during the Nadam festival by the age of 5. On the vast steppe, without detailed addresses or maps, nomads find each other using memory, experience, and familiar natural landmarks. Today, many families use satellite phones and 4G networks to monitor weather forecasts, the location of their herds, and information about the wool market. A frequently asked question is where nomadic children go to school when their families are constantly on the move. In reality, they still attend school, albeit over long distances. Many ride horses to school for dozens of kilometers each day, or stay in dormitories for the entire semester. The government also organized mobile schools with teachers, bringing books and learning materials to the local areas. Some regions experimented with solar-powered classrooms and radio broadcasts so that children's learning wouldn't be interrupted even during the migration season. These models helped maintain education without forcing families to abandon their traditional nomadic lifestyle. Number 2. Not showering for a few months is normal. For many people, going without a bath for a day or 2 is enough to cause discomfort. But for the Mongols, going without a bath for a month, or even several months, was once considered perfectly normal. Since the time of Genghis Khan, they believed that water was the dwelling place of the gods. Therefore, people were not allowed to bathe in rivers or streams, as such an act was considered disturbing and could anger the gods. This belief directly influenced their lives and even their warfare. During conquests spanning thousands of kilometers, Mongol soldiers were absolutely forbidden from bathing in rivers or lakes and rarely changed their clothes. Instead, they would simply brush off dust and shake their clothes to remove lice and then wear them until the fabric was completely worn out. While this might sound unhygienic by modern standards, for the Mongols of that era, body odor was not considered unpleasant. Conversely, it was considered a personal mark, distinguishing one person from another and sometimes even respected as a unique characteristic. Therefore, even generals or warriors with strong body odor were admired and never looked down upon. Today, Mongolians still bathe less frequently than many other communities, but the main reason stems from natural conditions. The harsh climate, long winters, and extremely scarce water resources on the steppe make daily bathing impractical. To maintain hygiene, they use alternative methods such as herbal steam baths, frequent clothing changes, or using smoke to neutralize odors. Water in Mongolia has always been considered an extremely precious resource. Therefore, using lakes or streams for personal needs is considered taboo. If someone is found to have polluted a water source, the community's reaction will certainly be very strong. Not only water, but fire also holds a sacred place in Mongolian culture. The hearth is considered the soul of the family, the center of the home, and a symbol of the bond between family members. Therefore, throwing trash or waste into the fire is considered a serious taboo, as it is believed to offend the gods and ancestors present in the flames. And if you ever step into a traditional Mongolian yurt, there's one thing you absolutely shouldn't do: whistle. Mongolians believe that whistling can summon wandering spirits, demons, or bad omens to the family. So, even if you're having fun, you should remain silent to show respect. What's the longest time you've gone without showering? Leave a comment below and see if anyone can come close to the Mongolian record for not showering. Number 3. The Mongolians are one of the most hospitable peoples in the world. The Mongolians have a proverb: human happiness lies on the vast steppe, while their survival lies in their small tent. This accurately reflects their communal lifestyle for survival in the harsh, natural environment. Mongolians have long been considered one of the most hospitable peoples in the world. In the past, this hospitality went so far as to allow a host's wife or daughter to sleep next to a male guest to keep warm throughout the night. On the steppe, where winter temperatures can drop to -30 degrees Celsius, body warmth is more precious than any possession. Therefore, when guests arrived at night, the host would offer them meat, fermented mare's milk, and in some cases, allow a woman from the family to sleep beside them to help them endure the harsh cold. This custom is non-sexual and is understood as the highest expression of hospitality, a way for people to share life with one another. However, that experience was nothing like the romantic images in movies. Nomads eat a lot of red meat, have few opportunities to bathe, and often wear many layers of thick clothing, making their body odor a very distinctive smell of the steppe. Even so, in traditional nomadic society, this custom was once a source of pride, showing that Mongolians were willing to share their homes, meals, and warmth with strangers. Today, this custom is almost exclusively practiced in a few very small communities in Western Mongolia. Their marriage ceremonies are equally unique. The bride's family often tests the groom by letting his horse run wild, forcing him to find it himself to prove his perseverance. Engagement gifts include sugar, tea, and seahorse bones, symbolizing sweetness, endurance, and good fortune. Before being accepted, the groom must bring wine to the bride's house 3 times, each time needing her consent, as a test of his sincerity. On the wedding day, the groom must personally butcher a cooked lamb, demonstrating his strength and survival skills. Afterward, the family observes the chicken's liver to predict fortune. A large red liver is considered a good omen, while a pale liver foretells misfortune. Another custom that surprises many outsiders is levirate marriage, allowing the youngest son to inherit his father's wife after his death, excluding his own mother. The purpose of this custom is to protect the woman, ensuring she always has someone to care for her. In nomadic culture, a woman left alone in the harsh steppe could face life-threatening danger, so this custom is seen as an honorable duty rather than a taboo. If you were the youngest son, would you choose to continue the tradition to uphold honor or refuse because of modern moral standards? Please share your thoughts. I really want to know. Number 4. Mongolian women had the highest status in ancient Asia. When thinking of the Mongol Empire, the image that often comes to mind is that of the invincible cavalry under Genghis Khan. But behind those victories was a less discussed force: women. In ancient nomadic societies, they not only provided support but also played a central role in the community. They raised livestock, built and dismantled tents, cared for their families, and, when necessary, could ride horses, shoot arrows, and fight alongside men. Compared to European women in the Middle Ages, Mongolian women possessed far greater freedoms. They were allowed to own property, participate in trade, and even assume military command roles. A prime example in history is Mandukai Khatun, the 15th century warrior queen who rallied armies, united tribes, and restored the power of the Mongol dynasty. Borte Ujin, the first wife of Genghis Khan, his most trusted advisor. Toragani and Ogul Kaimush, female regents who ruled the vast Mongol Empire during periods of power transition between dynasties. That spirit continues to exist in Mongolian society today. In the Altai Mountains, Kazakh women still train golden eagles for hunting, maintaining a tradition that has lasted for thousands of years. Meanwhile, in the capital Ulaanbaatar, women make up a large proportion of university graduates and civil servants. They become doctors, scientists, entrepreneurs, and continue to contribute to shaping modern society. However, this independence also creates an interesting paradox. While women have higher levels of education and more stable incomes, they struggle to find partners who share their values. While about 40% of Mongolian men are married, only about 32% of women do the same. Many begin seeking opportunities through international dating apps like Tinder or Bumble, where they feel that equal values are more respected. The appearance of Mongolian women also contributes to their unique appeal. They possess soft features, slender figures, and sometimes blue or green eyes, a result of genetic intermingling with Kazakhs or Russians. This blend of East Asian and European features creates a beauty that is hard to mistake. Amidst the vast steppe, they stand out as symbols of strength, intelligence, and allure. If you've ever wondered how to win the heart of a Mongolian woman, the answer might be simpler than you think. Treat her as an equal, not as an outdated traditional figure. Comment number 4 if you want to delve deeper into their secrets. Number 5. Vegetables are a luxury in Mongolia. If you've ever thought you couldn't live without vegetables, try spending a month in Mongolia, where greens are almost considered a luxury. The traditional Mongolian diet revolves around only 2 main components: meat and dairy. Vegetables are rarely seen in meals, not because they hate them, but because the natural conditions force them to choose that path. The harsh climate makes farming almost impossible. Winter can last up to 8 months with extremely low temperatures, while summer is too short for crops to grow and bear fruit. Therefore, livestock becomes the source of almost all food, fuel, and income. An average nomadic family may own hundreds of sheep, cattle, horses, goats, and camels, all playing a direct role in their daily meals. Lamb is the most common meat and is prepared in many ways, such as boiled, stewed, dried, or grilled on hot stones in the famous korkog dish. The stones are heated until red hot and then dropped into a pot along with meat and a very limited amount of vegetables, creating a distinctive smoky flavor that is both rustic and rich. The traditional Mongolian drink is sutai tsai, a savory milk tea made from black tea, milk, salt, and sometimes butter. It's not the sweet milk tea you usually drink, but rather a vital energy source that helps nomads withstand the cold wind and long journeys on horseback. Some even add fat or dried cheese to increase its richness, turning it into a liquid meal for the whole day. And if you've ever heard of something called sheep's eye juice, it's not a legend. This drink, used to cure hangovers after long feasts, consists of broth or diluted vinegar with a real sheep's eye inside. Mongolians believe it helps restore vitality, similar to how Westerners drink lemonade in the morning. One surprising fact is that Mongolians particularly enjoy ice cream, even when the outside temperature drops to minus 30 degrees Celsius. Ice cream carts are still seen throughout the capital, Ulaanbaatar, in winter. Some scholars suggest that the first ice cream recipe may have originated with the Mongolian army, when milk and butter were carried in leather pouches on horseback, and the shaking and cold inadvertently created what resembles ice cream today. In a land where vegetables are scarce, Mongolians learned to survive using what nature provided. Meat, milk, and resilience nourished an entire nation, proving that humans can adapt and survive even in the harshest conditions. Number 6. Ulaanbaatar, the coldest capital city in the world. Nestled amidst the vast Mongolian steppes, Ulaanbaatar stands as a national pride. The city sits at an altitude of approximately 1,350 meters above sea level and is situated along the Tul River, a vital tributary of the Selenge River system flowing towards Russia. To the south lies Mount Bogd Khan, a nature reserve dating back to the 18th century and recognized by UNESCO as one of the world's earliest protected forests. Thanks to its inland location and direct influence from the Siberian high-pressure system, Ulaanbaatar possesses an exceptionally harsh climate. Winter can last up to 7 months, with temperatures frequently dropping below 36 degrees Celsius and sometimes reaching 40 degrees Celsius. This is why Ulaanbaatar is known as the world's coldest inhabited capital city year-round. Ulaanbaatar is a striking blend of nomadic history and modern urban life. Amidst the glass buildings, shopping malls, and grand boulevards lie the GR districts, where tens of thousands of families still live in traditional tents. They warm themselves with charcoal and maintain the simple lifestyle of their ancestors, while just a few streets away, the younger generation works in modern offices and sits in tech-savvy cafes. Images of Genghis Khan are ubiquitous throughout the city, from currency and murals to t-shirts and everyday items like coffee cups. He is not just a historical figure, but the spiritual soul of the nation. A 40-meter-tall equestrian statue of Genghis Khan in Sunjin Bulldog, crafted from stainless steel, reflects this reverence. At its base is a large museum displaying imperial artifacts, and from its elevated position, visitors can gaze out over the vast steppes where a once immense empire was born. Tengrism is an ancient Mongolian belief system that takes eternal blue sky, Tengri, as its supreme deity. This concept profoundly influenced the entire Mongolian culture and was used by rulers such as Genghis Khan to justify their power. Number 7. The empire with the largest contiguous territory in human history. Today, Mongolia is the 19th largest country in the world, with an area of over 1.56 million square kilometers, nearly 5 times the size of Germany, yet with only about 3.3 million inhabitants. The population density is so low that on average, each person owns nearly half a square kilometer of land. However, few would guess that this vast and sparsely populated land was once the center of the most powerful empire in human history. More than 800 years ago, from these dry, cold steppes, Genghis Khan began an unprecedented conquest. In less than 80 years, the Mongols built an empire stretching nearly 9,700 kilometers from east to west, covering approximately 24 million square kilometers, equivalent to a quarter of the Earth's landmass, larger than Africa and 10 times the size of the United States. Therefore, the Mongol Empire holds the record for the largest contiguous empire in human history. You could walk from Korea to Eastern Europe without ever leaving Mongolian territory. Genghis Khan was not only a warrior, but also the founder of a new order. He established the Pony Express communication system connecting Asia and Europe, enacted a unified legal code, and brought trade along the Silk Road to a global scale. However, that power was also built on brutality. With his policy of surrender or annihilation, over 40 million people perished, equivalent to about 10% of the world's population at the time, a number that has led historians to compare him to Napoleon and Alexander the Great combined. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire was fragmented among his sons and grandsons, forming entities such as the Golden Horde, the Ilkhan Khanate, and the Yuan dynasty in China. Although it had reached its peak under Kublai Khan, internal divisions, power struggles, and a lack of outstanding leaders led to the complete collapse of the entire system within a few generations. In the 13th century, the Mongol army launched 3 failed invasions of Dai Viet, Vietnam, reflecting a gradual weakening of its organization and fighting spirit. At the same time, many territories from Persia to Hungary regained their independence. From an empire that once encompassed much of the world, the Mongol Empire gradually shrank, eventually becoming a vast but sparsely populated nation as it is today. Amidst the vast expanse of the modern steppe, the legacy of the ancient empire still lives on in the blood and proud gaze of the Mongol people. A people who once shook the world now live at a slower pace, but their historical pride still burns quietly in every breeze that blows through the Altai Mountains. Number 8. Abundant resources, yet the people remain poor. Mongolia is often described as a land of vast treasures beneath the sands. Yet paradoxically, the majority of its population lives in difficult economic conditions. The country possesses over 80 different mineral resources, including coal, copper, gold, and especially rare earth elements, key raw materials for modern technology. Mongolia's rare earth reserves are considered among the largest in the world, second only to China. The centerpiece of its mining economy is the Oyu Tolgoi mine, one of the largest copper and gold mines on the planet, contributing nearly 30% of the nation's total export earnings. Mongolia is one of the most economically dependent countries on minerals, with 93.7% of its export income coming from mineral products. However, much of Mongolia's resources remain underutilized due to a lack of infrastructure, technology, and human resources. Therefore, the lives of the majority of its people have hardly changed. Meanwhile, agriculture and livestock farming, the traditional foundations of nomadic societies, are facing increasing pressure from desertification. According to the United Nations, over 70% of Mongolia's land has been degraded, forcing tens of thousands of nomadic families to abandon their pastures and migrate to urban areas. With its small economy, Mongolia's GDP is only around $20 billion, resulting in significantly lower per capita income compared to China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, where GDP has exceeded $50 billion. Unemployment, low incomes, and a widening gap between rich and poor have exacerbated numerous social problems. In the mines, approximately 19,000 women, many of whom are single mothers or unemployed, are forced to work in unsafe conditions and lack adequate legal protection. Mining areas in the south, near the Gobi Desert, are gradually becoming hotspots for crime, prostitution, and sexually transmitted diseases. Mongolia is also emerging as a transit point for transnational human trafficking networks. Many women are tricked into going to China, South Korea, or Russia with promises of work, only to be sold into sex exploitation. Despite efforts by the government and human rights organizations, this problem remains largely uncontrolled. Number 9. Where modern vehicles have to give way to livestock. Traffic in Mongolia is a rare blend of modern and traditional. On the same road, you might see both left-hand and right-hand drive vehicles sharing the same lane, something almost unheard of in most other countries. This is because the majority of vehicles are imported from various markets, especially Japan and South Korea. About half of the cars in Mongolia are used cars from Japan, and the most popular model is the Toyota Prius, becoming a familiar symbol of the country's transportation. It's no coincidence that people call Mongolia the Prius Kingdom. In Ulaanbaatar alone, 1 in 3 cars on the road is a Prius. But just a few dozen kilometers from the capital, the traffic picture changes dramatically. Horses and camels become the primary means of transportation. Modern SUVs sometimes have to stop to let herds of horses or sheep leisurely cross the desert. The majority of Mongolia's road network remains unpaved or gravel, with only a few major highways being paved. With an area of over 1.56 million square kilometers and a population of just over 3 million, building paved roads across the entire territory is nearly impossible. Therefore, the government focuses on maintaining a few hundred kilometers of roads connecting the capital to China and Russia, 2 of the country's most important trade routes. If you plan to drive across the steppe, thorough preparation is essential. Spare fuel is indispensable, as you may travel hundreds of kilometers without encountering a gas station. Road signs are sparse, and there are no lane markings, making GPS your only navigational tool. And if your car runs out of gas, the only option is to wait for another vehicle to pass, which can take hours. Despite the low population density, traffic accidents in Mongolia are still quite frequent. Poorly marked roads, high speeds, and rough terrain make it easy to lose control of vehicles. Weather also contributes to the risk. Sandstorms can occur in the summer, while unexpected snowstorms in winter can cause roads to freeze over. Many vehicles lack winter tires or proper heating systems, making driving in Mongolia a challenging experience. Where Prius and horse share the same road, Mongolian traffic is more than just transportation. It's part of a culture of survival on the vast steppe. Number 10. Sacred festivals in Mongolia. For Mongolians, the new year is not just a change of calendar, but a spiritual rebirth. This festival, called Tsagaan Sar, also known as the White Month, usually takes place in February and lasts for 3 days. The white color here is not decorative, but a core symbol: purity, light, truth, and compassion. During Tsagaan Sar, everything from clothing and silk scarves to milk, wine, and food is white, representing the wish for a clean and harmonious beginning with heaven and earth. The visiting rituals in Tsagaan Sar are highly disciplined. Upon entering a home, guests must bow to the ancestral altar, wish the elders good health, and only sit if invited. If the host pours wine, guests must raise their cups with both hands and drink it all. Refusing is considered bad luck and could break the family's good fortune. Before departing, visitors typically receive a kadak, a white silk scarf symbolizing friendship, respect, and wishes for lasting peace. In the summer, the festive atmosphere shifts entirely to a spirit of strength and survival skills with Naadam, Mongolia's largest cultural and sporting event, usually held in July. Naadam revolves around the three sports of the steppe: horse racing, archery, and wrestling. Horse racing is particularly shocking to visitors, with riders aged 6 to 13 riding bareback horses, covering distances of up to 30 km across the open steppe. Wrestling has no weight classes. The winner is awarded the title Lion of the Steppe, bringing honor to their entire clan. Music and rituals are also the soul of Mongolian culture. Kume, a throat-singing art that allows a person to produce multiple pitches simultaneously, mimicking wind, water, and animals, was recognized as an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO in 2009. Morin Kur, a two-stringed violin with a horse head, is a symbol of nomadic life and the sacred bond between humans and horses. In the West, the Kazakh people of Mongolia still maintain the tradition of hunting golden eagles. The Golden Eagle Festival, held in October, celebrates this ancient training and hunting skill, which was recognized as an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO in 2011. All of this creates a Mongolia where festivals are not just for viewing, but for living with history, nature, and the nomadic spirit. Number 11. Two worlds exist in the night in Ulaanbaatar. As night falls over the capital city of Ulaanbaatar, two worlds seem to coexist. Just a few streets apart, one side is a vibrant, bustling city, the other a tranquil, unchanging steppe. In the city center, the nightlife explodes with crowded bars, neon lights reflecting off glass buildings, and modern music mingling with the laughter of young people. Meanwhile, on the outskirts, smoke rises from hundreds of white tents, where nomadic families maintain their centuries-old way of life. In the city center, the nightlife rivals that of major European cities. EDM, hip-hop, and rock music fill the air. Some bars, like Zeppelin and Club 21, even feature international DJs, making Ulaanbaatar a prominent party destination in North Asia. In art spaces, visitors can find performances combining traditional folk music with modern electronic music. As night falls, the aroma of hot food wafts from street vendors. Booze, kushur, and various grilled meat skewers are popular choices. Mongolians in particular have a habit of eating soup at night, often rich meat broths, to help their bodies withstand the sub-zero temperatures. Alcohol plays a central role in gatherings. Vodka is popular in the city, while in suburban areas, airag, a fermented mare's milk with a slightly sour taste and white foam, remains a favorite. However, Ulaanbaatar is more than just a party city. The city also boasts cafes that stay open late, where students study under warm lighting. Some libraries operate throughout the night to serve those working late. In the vast tent camps, families gather around the campfire, sharing stories of Genghis Khan and listening to the neighing of horses in the night. Electricity is not yet widespread, so light comes from oil lamps or solar-powered lights. In this warm, dim space, the pristine beauty of Mongolia is revealed, where night is not just for rest, but also a moment of connection between people, nature, and tradition. Number 12. The most forbidden lands in Mongolia. Near the Sayan Mountains in northern Mongolia lies a lake of unusually serene beauty, Kuvsgul Nur. Locals call it by the chilling name Man-Eating Lake. For decades, those who have sailed or dived into the lake have never returned. Records from the Soviet era show numerous reported disappearances, but no official conclusion has ever been reached. One theory suggests that the lakebed contains natural, funnel-shaped sinkholes that create powerful currents capable of pulling people down. Hydrologists have measured depths exceeding 260 meters in some areas, far deeper than initial estimates. Another theory suggests that a system of underground caves may connect to larger rivers, sweeping everything away without a trace. For the locals, the explanation takes on a spiritual dimension. They believe the lake has a spirit of its own, a water deity protecting its purity, and anyone who defiles it will pay the price. To the west, the Altai Mountains reveal another equally haunting land known as the Kwitin Valley of Death, located near the intersection of the Mongolian, Russian, and Chinese borders. This area is perpetually shrouded in cold winds. Its terrain is rugged, and it shows almost no signs of life. For over a century, dozens of hunters, explorers, and nomads have disappeared here. When some bodies were found, They were shriveled like natural mummies, skin pressed tightly against bones, showing no signs of normal attack or decomposition. Some scientists have hypothesized that toxic gases escaping from the ground may be the cause, but no gas samples have been recorded exceeding safe levels. Local people believe the land is cursed, inhabited by mountain demons, who steal the breath of those who intrude. Many international research teams returned to the area in 2010 with modern radiation and magnetic field measuring equipment, but the results still did not provide a clear explanation. To this day, Khitan Death Valley remains a forbidden land where the boundary between science and legend is still unclear. Number 13. Little-known natural wonders of Mongolia. In the far south lies the Gobi Desert, a landmass stretching over 1,600 kilometers. But the Gobi is more than just sand. It's a rare blend of golden sand dunes, barren rocky hills, arid steppes, and valleys so cold that ice can remain year-round. In summer, visitors ride two-humped camels across Kongorin Els, the Gobi's most famous landmark. Not far away, the Ulaanbaatar Valley still retains thick ice even in mid-July, a testament to Asia's harshest climate. The Gobi is also known as the Kingdom of Dinosaurs, particularly at Bayanzag Flaming Cliffs, where in 1922, American scientists discovered the first dinosaur eggs in history. Over 300 fossils, including Velociraptor and Protoceratops, have been unearthed there. Leaving the Gobi and heading north, the landscape shifts to the cool blue hues of Lake Khövsgöl. The lake stretches over 130 kilometers, is nearly 270 meters deep, and contains about 70% of Mongolia's freshwater. Its water is so clear it reflects every movement. In winter, the lake freezes over to 3 meters thick, becoming the stage for the Khövsgöl Ice Festival, featuring ice sleigh races, ice sculpting, and rituals honoring the gods of wind and water. In the heart of the country lies the Orkhon Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and once the heart of many nomadic empires. The remnants of Karakorum, the capital of Genghis Khan, still stand alongside the Erdenezu Monastery with its 108 white stupas, a symbol of enlightenment in Buddhism. Near the capital, Terelj National Park offers a softer beauty with its meadows, streams, and bizarre rock formations like Turtle Rock. Here, city dwellers can rediscover the nomadic lifestyle through horseback riding and enjoying arag, a traditional fermented mare's milk drink. Further west, the Altai Mountains, rising above 4,000 meters, are a transitional zone between glaciers and steppes, home to the Kazakh people, and where the tradition of hunting golden eagles is preserved through annual festivals. Finally, in Kustain Nuru, Mongolia has achieved a conservation feat: the reintroduction of the Przewalski's taki, the world's last remaining wild horse species, back into the wild. From 84 individuals in 1992, the population has now grown to approximately 380, a rare testament to the resurgence of wildlife. Number 14. Modern living on a low cost in Mongolia. Mongolia offers an interesting paradox. It's both modern and yet maintains an affordable cost of living. Compared to expensive cities like Tokyo, Seoul, or Singapore, life here is significantly cheaper. A fully furnished apartment in the city typically rents for around $300 to $450 per month. If you choose to live outside the city center, in a shantytown or small apartment near the steppe, rent can be as low as $150 to $250. Food costs are also very manageable. A simple meal usually costs only about $3 to $5. At Narantul Market, the capital's largest market, fresh produce is sold at significantly lower prices than in supermarkets. If you cook at home, your total monthly food expenses rarely exceed $200. Meat and dairy, two key components of Mongolian cuisine, are readily available at low prices. Transportation is another major advantage. Public bus fares are only about 0.25 per ride. Alternatively, shared vans can take you hundreds of kilometers between cities or rural areas for just $10 to $15. Monthly utility costs, including electricity, water, and internet, average between $60 and $80. With a total budget of around $600 to $800 per month, you can maintain a relatively comfortable life in Ulaanbaatar. Therefore, more and more foreigners, especially those working remotely, are seeing Mongolia as a new destination for a digital nomadic lifestyle. Number 15. What to prepare before exploring Mongolia. For many travelers, Mongolia is a land of stark extremes: where the weather, terrain, and lifestyle can disrupt familiar routines. Temperatures can fluctuate by more than 15 degrees Celsius in a single day. Mornings are chilly around 8 degrees, rising to 25 degrees C by midday, then rapidly dropping to near freezing at night. This volatility occurs throughout the country, including Ulaanbaatar. You can experience all 4 seasons in 24 hours, so jackets, hats, and sunscreen are essential. Mongolian public transportation remains minimalist. Bus routes rarely have English instructions, and most drivers communicate only in Mongolian. Automatic translation apps and offline maps are almost indispensable, especially when you get lost on unmarked dirt roads. Bringing water, snacks, and a power bank is essential, as a 5-hour trek can feel like crossing an entire desert. Mongolian cuisine clearly reflects the harsh natural environment of the steppe. Dishes are often rich in flavor, high in fat, and contain very few vegetables. Lamb, beef, and horse meat make up the majority of daily meals. Green vegetables are scarce and expensive due to reliance on imports or greenhouse farming. If you are used to a light or low-meat diet, preparing a multivitamin or buying pre-prepared fruit and salads at large supermarkets before leaving the capital is a sensible option. Internet access is an unexpected plus. Ulaanbaatar has stable and low-cost connections, with many cafes offering free Wi-Fi. However, just a few dozen kilometers from the city, the signal weakens and disappears. Some steppe areas are completely offline, where you can only rely on GPS and basic survival skills. And that's all 15 interesting facts about Mongolia. We hope this information has helped you see this country from a clearer and more comprehensive perspective. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next exploration journeys. Of the facts shared, which one impressed you the most? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your opinion. Please note that all information in this video is for reference only. You should do your own research before making any decisions.